Hello BookTube. Today I'm going to be continuing with my review of Adrift in the Next Revolution by Montague, which is a collection of short stories I am reviewing in audiobook form, and I received the audiobook for free from Montague in exchange for a review. In this part of the review I'm going to be reviewing the ninth story in the collection, which is called The Bastard's Price. The story follows a space pirate and smuggler as he and his ship try to escape the authorities who are chasing after them, and at the same time the space pirate captain has to deal with his first mate, who is also his lover, discovering he has a child who has sneaked aboard due to the death of their mother. And the captain. This leads to the captain being getting separated from his ship and having to make his way back to the ship. At the same time, the first mate is having to deal with her emotions and to try and work out whether the captain's child is actually telling the truth or not, and is in fact the captain's child. I won't go any further on the plot because I don't want to spoil it. Now, again, as with other stories in this collection, I really enjoyed this one. This has some good emotional bits where between the captain and his first mate, his lover, over the discovery of the child and her very understandable strong emotions about this. You also have the nice sort of interaction between her and the child, you get to see it from both her point of view and the child's point of view, and understandably the child doesn't particularly like her, and be given that the first mate's character is a particularly likeable person, and the first mate doesn't particularly like her because she regards the child's existence as a betrayal of her, as sort of the physical embodiment of the captain's betrayal of her. There's a nice bit where the narrative nicely switches between what's going on the ship between the first mate, the interaction with the crew and the child, as well as the captain himself getting who's now sort of lost out at space in the middle of an area which is known for ships going into and not coming necessarily out, or if they stay still, they get attacked by forces that are unknown. And his sort of way of you get to see him find his way onto an abandoned ship, and then getting back and in attempting to make his way back to the crew. That's all well done. The action's nice. There's a bit of action there, in there, particularly when he finally finds a ship that he can use, and he comes up against something. I won't say what it is, but it's if you've read a previous story in this, you'll know as soon as you hear the name of the ship, you'll know exactly what it's going up against. That's one thing I will mention. This story is a sequel to almost a direct sequel to two different stories in this collection, and they're really well done. The one which is it is a immediate sequel, by which, in terms of by which I mean the one of the stories is the previous story. The previous story, but one in the collection, is really good. It's really nice that's a continuation of that story, and also it's a direct sequel to the first story in the collection, and that gets a really nice conclusion, given what goes on in that one. And there is a nice bit concerning that where the captain is able to get the threat aboard the ship he finds away to the authorities without the authorities knowing, and and it's very, very funny. It's funny to think of that they are having a go at him for smuggling, and he's actually not with the ship. He's actually not with the ship he's on. He's not actually committed any crime at all, and so the authorities are definitely going to feel the sting in the tail when they open up an area of that ship and discover what's inside. As I say, overall, really enjoyed the story. nice bit of action, good emotion, and characters are well drawn. You get the real sense of this space pirate smuggler being a rogue, as pretty much a likeable rogue. And Eel has said in a couple of comments that these stories are stories of characters who appear in other things, or they appear in either other stories or in novels, because he's written these as a overall. These stories are all part of the larger universe, and so characters appear in one thing or another. Either it's as I say, a shared universe where characters appear and reappear, and so I definitely would like to read more stories about this captain, this space captain, this space pirate, alien smuggler that Eel's written. So with that, BookTube, I'll say goodbye, and I will see you probably tomorrow.